What to do, good people? It's A and B here, back for another live commentation. And this is news coming to you uncensored, unfiltered. We're still in the month of May, but it has definitely been crazy, right? Not a lot of good news for this month of May. It seems to be getting crazier as it gets warmer on the East Coast, right? Maybe a little bit drier on the West. So the first story that we're going to hop into comes from Japan. Some of you may have heard about this story. Some of you may not. All right, so let's get into it. Let's see what this young man's talking about.
There's been a recent discovery of a sinkhole in South China that has a prehistoric intact forest inside of it. The sinkhole is up to 630 feet deep. Within that sinkhole, there are trees that stand at a minimum of 130 foot tall. And on top of that, the trees and the plants that were found inside of this prehistoric forest may contain species of life that we have not discovered yet. What's crazy is that this is not the first sinkhole of this magnitude that we have discovered. In addition to this sinkhole found in South China, there has been 29 other sinkholes of this magnitude found. And with this sinkhole being at 630 feet deep, containing a complete, intact, ancient forest, there's no telling what the other 29 sinkholes could consist of. But the news about this sinkhole does lead me to wonder a bit. Is this actually the first time that they discovered this sinkhole? They actually come out and immediately tell us when they discovered this? No, I don't think so at all. And let me tell y'all why. Let's start off with common sense. Do they do that with anything in the first place? No. All of these things and discoveries are told to us at a late point after they have already explored it. This was already discovered years and years before, along with the other 29 sinkholes. This type of information has to come out so they could desensitize us to the truth. This also leads me to another point. I see how deep this sinkhole is, right? 630 feet at minimum into the earth. A complete, intact, prehistoric forest. So is it too far-fetched to say that the hollow earth is real? I don't think so at all. If anything, I think that this is more proof that it is real. Along with an intact, ancient, prehistoric forest and species that have not been discovered yet, y'all think it's too far-fetched to say that people lived among them? And remember, this is just one sinkhole out of 30. Y'all don't know what these sinkholes contain. For this forest to be completely intact is insane. I already know that discoveries inside of these sinkholes have been made. Whether or not they wanted to bring those to our attention, we don't know yet. And just to make y'all actually think about what I just said, just a few months back, scientists also discovered a sinkhole in Antarctica the size of Kansas. And now this area is considered a no-fly zone. I wonder why. And on top of that, it's always an unspecified group of scientists that make these discoveries as well. Now think about that. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.
Okay, yeah, that is a very exciting discovery, or let's say admission, that the government has made. You can actually look that up online to find it yourself if you want some more information, although they're not going to give you more information because I'm quite sure this is still very top secret and only select personnel could even go there, right? So like I said, this is a very amazing discovery because it alludes to the fact of exactly what he said. Number one, hollow earth. Whether we want to believe that there's actually this hole that's in the center of the earth or in Antarctica or pretty much each point of earth, you know, it makes sense more so that there has been resets, as a lot of people like to call them, whether they're floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, fires, or whatever, that has wiped out humanity time and time again. Of course, nature still does what nature does. It continues to evolve and grow. So the trees are still going to grow. You know, the mountains will still be there. The water will still be there unless, you know, the sun bursts and dries everything up. But that hasn't happened just yet. That's how we started out. So yeah, it makes 1,000% sense that the land that we are walking on is of our ancestors when we say that, you know. So excuse my language, but unalive bodies, right? We're walking on things like that. We're walking on prehistoric soil that has grown over and grown over and grown over and grown over. It is still there. So it makes complete sense. It's definitely fascinating and quite nice that they have included us in on one of their discoveries, I would say. So the next video that I'm going to hop into kind of piggybacks off of this very same thing, right? So let's see. Go back. All right. Like I said, so the next video I'm going to hop into, it kind of resonates with this very one, and I'll be back on with my commentation. Let's get it.
You probably know that Alaska and Russia are relatively close. Just the Bering Sea between them, they're only about 55 miles apart. But there's an American town that's much closer, just a couple miles from Russia. And in winter, they can actually walk there. But they don't. I don't think. Diomede is an American town of about 100 people on a small island in the Bering Sea called Little Diomede Island. It is one of two islands that sit about halfway between mainland Alaska and mainland Russia. The western island, Big Diomede, is Russian. The eastern island, Little Diomede, is American. They are 2.5 miles apart. The only thing between them is water. In winter, the notoriously cold water freezes up, creating a 2.5-mile ice bridge that's walkable. So technically, you can walk from the U.S. to Russia. If you do, you also instantaneously step into the future because Big Diomede is 21 hours ahead of Little Diomede. The international date line falls right smack between them, so you can literally step a whole day ahead.
Yeah, so once again, more Earth discoveries, right? See, this is something that I had already known. So, long story short, America is 2.5 miles away from Russia. Wow, right? The further you go up north, right? Closer to the North Pole, closer to the Arctic, right? And it's quite strange as you continue to go down that East Coast line, I'm just thinking about, right? If you continue to go down, there's a much bigger separation from the Atlantic to Africa. But there's also something called Pangea. If you don't know about it, you can definitely look it up. But everything was once connected, right? There was no separation from the waters and the lands, right? It was all just one. It makes a lot more sense as we drink this water. Our bodies are also made of 80% water. There is no such thing as coincidence. I just had to put that out there. How symbolic we are of nature. Anyway, so before we were separated by the waters and the lands, everything was together. But we know how water works, right? It rises, it falls, it's level to the earth's platform, quote unquote, right? So over the course of time, you have land that is underwater, still under the sea right now, just like the discovery of that forest, right? A sinkhole is what brought that to light, but it's still there. We just could not see it at that point in time. So at one point in time, this was Africa, as you want to say, right? It was all connected. The government decided to create these borders and separate. Look up the pictures of New Mexico and these different places where there are these quote unquote borders. It's just a separation from one land to the next. But in essence, it's one land. It's one land. All right, so the next video we're going to hop into, right? And excuse my notifications. Yes, I have been on Tinder before. So the next video I'm actually going to hop into is remnants of our economy and where it is and where it's going. So I'm going to let this young man hop on, and then I'll be back with my commentation. Let's get it.
Nobody ain't talking about this shit. I got two girls, one 20 and one's 21. No, sorry. One is 21 and one's 22. I just rented this space for them, apartment for them, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, right here. $16.80 a month. Before they can get into this apartment, they have to be qualified times 3, which is above $5,000 a month. So each person has to be making $5,000 a month in order to rent this apartment. That's how much the apartment went up. Now please tell me which 21, 22-year-old making an income, a monthly income of over $5,000 a month after taxes. No one is talking about it, but this shit is off the chain. They went up on these apartments. Most of them are fucking empty. Empty. Because people ain't paying this kind of money. 2-bedroom, 2-bath for almost $1,700. Plus this and plus that and plus that. At the end of the day, you pay at least $2,500 a month. But no one ain't talking about this. They're allowing these people to go up on their rent saying that, okay, things are hot. The bullshit. They are gouging on these prices and no one is saying a goddamn word. Now I have to go ahead and rent an apartment for two of my girls so they can be comfortable. Ain't that some bullshit?
Definitely some BS, my man. Definitely some BS. And he's in Georgia, right? In Georgia, according to people over here on the East Coast where I am, is said to be a lot cheaper than places where I am and close to, right? So Georgia was definitely a place that a lot of honestly black people went, and Caucasians amongst other races went to start a life anew. That was a lot more cost effective. So it's disheartening to hear that prices have also skyrocketed there, right? So the next video that I'm going to show is from New York, and we know that New York is higher, but my gosh, look at it. I just want you to check out the video, and then I'll be back on for my commentation, okay? All right.
Okay, so you're going to want to watch this video all the way through. I sideline as a real estate agent, and today I had the pleasure of showing this one bedroom. So first we step in, let's get straight to it. The living room's right there in the front. Do have a washer and dryer, so it's pretty dope that it has that. Even though, anyway, there's a kitchen, there's appliances, really small, real bachelor pad kind of presence there. Sink is super tiny, but hey, what are you really washing, right? The best part about it is that refrigerator, but I didn't want to get into that. Then we come all the way to the back here. We have the bedroom. Back up. And we'll close that and go straight into the bathroom one time. It's a really nice bathroom, which is like probably the best part of this entire apartment. The real amazing part about this apartment, it's $3,000 a month in New York City.
Yeah, so that apartment is $3,000 a month, and if you blink, you are in every part of the apartment. So there you go, right? It's just it's a different time that we're living in. I think a lot of us are waking up and starting to realize that we don't have to rely on the government's resources, which they provide us with everything. Like I say, we're all on welfare pretty much. If you're not living off the land, providing yourself with your own food, building your own houses, skinning your own animals, right? Harvesting your own fruits and vegetables. In essence, we are still reliant on the government. I'm not pointing fingers because I'm one of them. I use the internet, electricity, I'm on social media. We're doing it all. Like, we are literally living life, if that's what you want to call it, depending on what you think living life actually looks like. I think that we're starting to get a better picture of what happiness actually looks like and what it means to live a fulfilling life. And it's much more than this fast pace. Let me go get some fast food because I'm hungry and I don't feel like cooking, right? Let me just text my friend because I don't feel like talking right now. We're cutting down on our soul ties, right? Or the hunger of our soul. I'll put it like that. What feeds the soul, what gives us positive light and energy, just like the sun. So what you see is what you get, right? They build it, they put the money into it, the economy's going crazy, prices are high, so I gotta charge you more to live here. That's just it. I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense. I'm not even complaining. This is just awareness. There are a lot more people that are willing to even admit that they are being affected by this inflation that we're going through, by this Great Depression, because that's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. All right. Like I said, the month of May has been very rough. A lot of these videos are just to bring awareness to things that are going on. So let's just switch it up a little bit. As we go into a more serious lane, I just wanted to share some local news, right? This is local from Illinois. All right, let's get into it.
They don't know. Come on, man.
She's handcuffed. She's handcuffed and chained to a wall. Just stay back a little bit. And just kind of. We're gonna see if the guy kind of wanders back over.
I told y'all where he was.
I'm more worried.
I know. Don't worry about it. I got you. Don't worry about it, because I'm finna go. No, get her.
This my house from now on. This finna be my house. Bank, come holler at me. Fuck that, because that's what they doing. That's what they doing. They taking these houses, putting these girls inside these houses. I just located a girl inside this house. The police say she chained up, and the kids say they've been hearing this noise for weeks. But don't worry about it. This is why I'm telling y'all, all these abandoned houses around our house, we need to go in there, fix them up, fuck what the bank talking about. Man, we do it.
Yeah. So like I said, that's some local news from Chicago, Illinois. A woman was rescued from an abandoned house, right? So I'm sure this happens all over the world. I'm sharing this just to bring awareness to our surroundings, depending on which neighborhoods that you live in. Maybe you are unaffected, but at the same time, it does not have to be an abandoned building. There are just people taking people and doing what they will with them. People are living out their fantasies in a way. It's not even boredom. So just stay vigilant. Just stay vigilant. And I'm happy that this young lady was lucky enough to get the help that she needed, excuse me. Otherwise it could have ended a lot different for her, you know. So prayers go out to her, honestly. Next video is another stay vigilant. Just some things we don't know unless we share these things with each other and just pay some better attention to the things that are around us.
Hey guys, so what I'm sharing with you all is a photo of a bottle of water that my patient was consuming, and it was causing her blood pressure to become elevated. And so I noticed after so many visits, like, okay, what's going on? Why is this blood pressure getting to this point? Because this is one of my patients. We've already corrected the diet, so we can correct the diabetes, therefore correcting her wound. And so I'm asking all these different questions. Nothing's changed. I'm asking, what are you drinking? Pointed me to this bottle of water, and I want you to see where it says sodium chloride. That is salt. Now, of course, we know these water bottles contain electrolytes. However, if you're drinking this all day long, I want you to be very careful if you're starting to notice that your blood pressure is slightly increasing, because this could be the problem, especially if you're already monitoring what you're eating. Pay close attention to what you're drinking as well. Also, I want you to understand, if you go into the doctor's office and you have so many visits of these high blood pressure numbers, and I mean her numbers were getting up to the 170, 180 systolic, which is the top number, and bottom number close to 100. That's pretty high for her. If we're getting up to those numbers and you're walking into that doctor's office for a follow-up visit and your doctor is seeing these numbers on a consistent basis, you better believe you're going to walk out of there with another diagnosis if you don't already have that, and a new medication. If you don't already have that medication, we increase in the milligrams, or we're going to give it to you more throughout the day. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. Pay attention to what you're consuming, what you're eating, and what you're drinking, because all of that could be playing a huge role in why you're seeing elevation in your blood pressure. Thank you. And you're walking into that.
Yeah, so not only can you not drink the water that comes from your faucet at your home because of the metals and contamination in that water, but you also have to watch out for the bottled waters. It came out a couple years ago about the amount of lead that was found in mostly every single water bottle. I think the only one or two that was left out was maybe Aquafina and Designy or Deer Park. It's one of those three or two, whatever. But outside of that, each company still produced water that contained toxic levels of lead. So this is no different. We're just being attacked. We're under spiritual warfare at this point. It's stay vigilant. But my best advice is to stay prayed up. Whatever you believe in that. Hopefully it's something positive, because at this point, vibration is the only thing that's keeping us at this point. Are you vibrating high? Are you vibrating low? Are you good? Or are you bad? Are you good? Or are you bad? Right? I don't know. It's a crazy time to be alive for sure. Crazy time to be alive. So the next video that I'm going to show is from this young lady just sharing her perspective on what's been going on recently. And after I play that video, I'll be right back.
monkeypox. Motherfuckers is catching some type of virus from kissing each other and drinking after each other in Florida. Biden done gave all the rights away to somebody he don't even know. Trump tried to tell us Walmart got Juneteenth ice cream, and my sister asked me what chapter of the Bible are we in, and I told this motherfucker we are in Revelations chapter Jumanji verses 1 through 5. Baby, here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with her on that one because it's just crazy. I really hope that the whole monkeypox thing is not true because it's just too much. They want us to lose our minds. If nothing else, if you never catch it, just to be locked down again and having to face or fear another disease or virus. Nobody wants to go through that. Nobody. So I hate to even bring up what happened in Texas. I don't even want to say it. It's so very disheartening. And I just wanted to, first of all, have a moment of silence for those affected by the Texas shooting. Secondly, I just wanted to send out my condolences and prayers to all of those affected. And also share this article, which most people know about already, but it's just so sad. It says husband of teacher killed in Texas shooting has died from a heart attack. Wow. Leaving behind 4 children. 4 children. You know, so not only were lives lost very viciously, but of course it affects the families of those that were harmed. So it's just a very sad thing to see. I don't want to talk about conspiracies or anything like that, or MK Ultra and the government possibly, putting this person on to do such nefarious things. It needs to stop. We need better protocols. I work in the school system, and one of the first things that I said is that, you have to ring the doorbell to get inside of a school. That is true. And I have been to mostly every single school, public school, within my region, literally. So that is pretty synonymous. You have to ring the doorbell. But one thing that I don't see, at least on this side of the world, and clearly maybe on other sides of the world if this is happening, is that they're not screening people before they let them in. Just maybe a little bit of advice to be more vigilant with who you let into the building. Okay? Make sure they have an appointment. Make sure they have a child to pick up, that they're supposed to be picking them up, that is verified by the parents before this person can get in school. Okay? Maybe some metal detectors as well. Maybe some better reinforcement for the doors. Maybe something bulletproof. We can work on changing gun laws and things like that. But in the meantime, those sort of solutions would have an immediate impact and ease the mind of Americans, because this is happening in America. Checking this one out that happened May 14th inside of a supermarket, and there was also another one that happened in the month of May. Just makes you feel uneasy regardless of where you go. So I pray for us all in this very tumultuous time, that we are protected by the Most High, and that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And once again, I send my condolences to those families. All right, so it's been a wonderful deep dive with you all. I'm about to wrap it up, but before I go, I just wanted to share maybe some lighter news. Something a little bit more intriguing and less traumatic, right? So look at this one. This popped up on my Instagram. It says, gas shortage, electricity off. Epteria owners whose vehicles are powered by the sun won't be affected. Invest in Epteria and its groundbreaking solar electric vehicles, right? Sharing this because, as you can see, man, the plans for the future are looking bleak for us. They talking about electricity off, gas shortage. We're going through a gas shortage, so we can just check that off. Electricity off. Oh my God. I don't want to see that day. But in case that does happen, you can still get around with Apteria. So if you want to invest in that, I'm pretty sure the stock market is going crazy over stuff like this, because it's just it seems not to be getting better. Things are continuing to get worse. And I'm pretty sure what's his name, Elon, Tesla, they probably having a good time as well because at least their cars are ran by electricity. But what happens when that shuts off? So it's very interesting. In this, I wear glasses myself. But this right here, it says Google says new eyeglasses can translate languages in real time. My goodness. I mean, this is definitely a different time period. I would have never thought I'd see today. And it's weird because out of every country that exists, America is the only one that actually does have a language barrier. They're taught English in pretty much every other country. It's just us that can only speak to us. And half the time that's not even true because of our ebonics and our slang. And sometimes just our accents and just this willingness to get to know each other and understand. We laugh at each other's accents and, oh, why you say that like that and this and that. Well, it's causing separation because there is a lack of communication. There's a lack of communication just nationwide, and also just personally. We don't even talk anymore. We text. I hit you up on Facebook and I see you later on a video chat, you know. All right. And last but not least, I'm just sharing this last video, and then I think it's time for me to go. Let's get it.
This on your screen, people's faces from lettered DNA. If you ever lettered in New York City, your face may be on display at Heather Dewey Haver's art gallery. Her project called Stranger Visions collects DNA from cigarette butts and used gum and turns it into a 3D model of your face. The masks are then put on display, along with the original DNA sample and some more information about the person and their ancestry.
Okay, yeah, that's some creepy stuff. So, you don't throw any of your things away outside anymore. I mean, this is getting crazy, and I'm just cracking a joke. But golly, if you checked out some of my old videos, the privacy is gone. If you take a picture with a filter, your face is then saved in a facial recognition system. The same thing with your fingerprints. You got to watch the bottles of water that you buy. You got to plan strategically where you're going to live because prices are just out of this roof. You can't really go nowhere because gas prices are crazy. The C19 numbers are crazy. It's just a crazy time to be alive, but nonetheless a blessing because this is groundbreaking work that we are doing spiritually and physically. Anyway, my guys, my gals, I'm happy that everybody who tuned in. I'm happy to be here today, and I hope you are as well. And until we meet again, my friends, stay prayed up, stay vigilant, and stay blessed.